Hey guys, this is Jonathan with BroJMar Productions, and this week I am talking about a movie that my brother recommended for me. Um, Last of these reviews, I wanted to get one from every member of my family, and I specifically asked them to choose something that they knew that I had never seen before. So I wanted to do a fresh, unbiased look at some of these. And so today we are talking about Pump Up the Volume. Now, this movie came out in 1990. It was written and directed by Alan Moyle, who, some of you who know 90s movies may know that he also directed another movie that was a 90s staple but not quite as well known, and that was Empire Records. This movie starred Christian Slater and Samantha Mathis, and this was actually the first time that they had worked together. They actually went on to do two other movies together, Broken Arrow, of course, and Ferngully, The Last Rainforest. They both starred in that. My brother recommended this one to me. He's been talking about it pretty much ever since I moved down here. He keeps on asking me if I've seen it. He keeps on telling me I need to watch it. And he was right. I did need to watch it. It was a great movie. I turned this one on without really knowing anything about it. I didn't even read the back of it. I only halfway knew what the storyline was all about. But it is basically Christian Slater who plays a very shy, reserved teen who at night does a pirate radio show where he becomes this completely different character who is hard-on Harry, of all things. This is in many ways a movie about, it's very much a teenage movie. It's really about, it's a very realistic look at what being a teenager is like. And one of the things I really liked about it is that while it's so obviously set in the 90s, it's not dated at all. It's kind of a timeless look at teenagers, because that's a situation, looking at teenagers across the board, things don't change. Being a teenager sucks, you know? I don't miss it at all. But like I said, it's a very unbiased look at it. It's timeless. It really hits a lot of notes. It really makes you think back on what it was like being a teenager, going to high school, suffering through high school, realizing how much high school sucks. But it has a good message that it gets better. You know, it really does. It gets better. And that's one of the big points of this movie, is he does this radio show where he lays everything right out. How much the school sucks, how much being a teenager can suck, and he lets everybody know what's really going on. He even lets out some secrets that the school is hiding, and that was, that's the whole point of it, is that somebody has to speak up for people. Somebody has to speak out against the corruption that was going on, and he was the one to do it. Now, Samantha Mathis plays a very strange girl that goes to school there, who's obsessed with figuring out who this guy is. Because he does a pirate radio show, he has a code name, nobody knows who he is, but everybody, all the teenagers at school are listening to him. They're selling bootleg tapes of his radio shows, which was very much a nice little nostalgia trip, having cassette tapes of it. When she's obsessed with figuring out who he is, and she finally does, and they decide to take everything to the next level, and it does. Everything gets taken to the next level. They end up becoming obsessed with finding out who he is. They're expelling students because they think that the students might know who he is, but the students aren't saying anything, so they're expelling them. They bring in the FCC They start bringing in the government, the police. It gets really crazy at the end. You know, actually, the end of it is it's almost kind of reminiscent of the ending of Bonnie and Clyde. You know, they're on the run and they're being chased. It's not quite as serious because they don't, get shot to pieces over 100 times, but it's very reminiscent of that whole in Bonnie and Clyde scene, and I actually kind of liked it. I really loved that part. The very ending of it was great. All around, a fantastic movie. I mean, truly, truly great. Good performances in it for the most part. Samantha Mathis, I know, is a pretty decent actress, although some of the big things I've seen her in have been kind of corny and cheesy movies. Super Mario Brothers. But she does a pretty good job in this one. Her character is a little outlandish, and I thought she could have done a little bit better playing it a little bit more low-key. Just a little bit. Christian Slater, though, just wow. One of the better performances that I've seen him do, probably. Because he's playing these two completely different characters that are the same person. You know, during the day while he's at school and when he's with his parents, he's this very kind of shy, reserved person that hardly ever talks. Then he gets on the radio and he's completely different. He's outlandish, he's loud, he's truthful. And he does a great job of balancing those two characters. Even during the day, when he's supposed to be the shy and reserved person, you see little glimpses of this other personality popping out. And the reverse. When he's on the radio, you see these little glimpses of this shy, reserved person peeking out. He does a really good job of balancing everything. And I thought it was just a fantastic performance from him. Everybody else that's in the movie is also really good. I don't have names, although there are a lot of people that I recognized from I've seen in other movies and TV shows. I just don't have any names off the top of my head. All around, great movie. Highly recommend watching it. I'm a big fan of movies that feature revolutions and rebellions, and this was one of those type movies, but it's different. It's very low key. This is about a person that isn't trying to start a revolution. He does this radio show just because he's lonely. He wants to talk to somebody, so he talks on the air. He has a little shortwave radio, and he just gets on and talks. That's all it really is. He doesn't talk during the day because he can't. He's kind of a social introvert. So he talks on the air. He's not meaning to start a revolution. He's just being honest with people and giving his opinions. But everybody takes it as something else. And throughout the whole movie, he doesn't even want to be a part of it. Every time things start to get kind of heavy, he just keeps on saying, "No, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going off the air." But he always comes back. This is a person that's being forced into a strange situation and being kind of a folk hero, and he doesn't want to accept it. And he has to go through that change to realize that he has to do it. And that's where the ending comes in, where everything blows up and gets crazy and blown out of proportion. Great movie. Recommend watching it. Definitely check it out. I don't know how popular this movie was when it came out, but I imagine that it was kind of an underground movie and not a lot of people knew about it. So that's that, but watch it. Very good. As to what's coming up next for me, I'm going to start soon in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be doing some reviews based on reviews of video game movies, and I have probably 8 or 9 that I want to try to do. Maybe a few more. I don't know. It's just going to depend on how I feel they're going and whether I get tired of doing them. But like I said, that's probably going to start maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I think I might have something else lined up for next week that'll actually be a new movie. It's just going to depend on whether I can afford to buy it when it comes out or not. So until next time, you guys stay safe, watch a lot of movies. See you on the flip side. Bye.